Welcome back. In this exercise, we'll be building a fan hub and blades like you see here in my graphic area. I'm showing you what the end result of this lesson is going to be. Let's get started. We're going to begin with a sketch on the right plane. Let's activate the line tool and create our first profile. And let's close it. Right-click and select. Let's apply dimensions and relations. We'll make the longest segment 60 millimeters. OK. This one will be 6 millimeters. This distance, 5 millimeters. OK. And this line also 5 millimeters. Let's establish this distance, 55. And this distance here, 47. OK. Lastly, let's create a center line. Right-click and select. Exit the sketch. Take an isometric view. Here we've created a sketch for the central hub. Let's activate the revolved boss tool, revolve type, mid-plane. Angle, let's make it 60 degrees. And click OK. Next, I'm going to create a sketch for the blades. Let's insert a plane. This reference plane will be offset from the front plane by 250 millimeters. Let's click OK. And let's right-click and insert a sketch. Take a normal 2 view. Let's apply a 3-point arc. Place the arc about here. And a second arc right about here. Right-click and select to exit that tool. Now let's apply dimensions. This distance will be 10 millimeters. OK. This distance, 5 millimeters. And another dimension here, 10 millimeters. The distance between the lines, 5 millimeters. And now the radii of our arcs. Let's make this one 150 millimeters. Accept. And the next one will be 100 millimeters. OK. Let's create 2 more arcs now. The second arc. Right-click and select. Let's apply dimensions. This distance, let's make 32 millimeters. This distance, 5 millimeters. .32 here. .5 millimeters here. OK. And the radius, 100 millimeters. Let's make this radius 75 millimeters. Lastly here, we need some relations. Let's shift select these 3 points, add a horizontal relation. And let's shift select these 3 points, add another horizontal relation. OK, I do see a problem here. Let's delete this relation. It should be on this side. Oops, we need to delete a relation again. Let's select and delete this coincident relation here. Now let's apply some dimensions to fix that problem. 5 millimeters, and the sketch is fully defined. Let's exit the sketch. Take an isometric view. Go to the Surfaces tab. Let's use the Extruded Surface tool. We'll select this curve. The Selected Contours option is active. Let's select this curve again. End condition, up to surface. And let's select this face and click OK. It looks like I selected the wrong curve. Let's go ahead and edit. Right-click, edit, and right-click and delete this selection. There's the curve I need. And OK. Let's make our sketch visible. Back to the Extruded Surface tool now. Let's select this curve. Up to surface for the end condition. And OK. Next, we'll use the Offset Surface tool. The offset surfaces aren't connected. Let's clear the selection box. Now select this face, 0 offset, and click OK. Let's right-click and hide Revolve 1. Activate the Trim Surface tool. Mutual Trim method. We select the surfaces to trim. Now let's choose Selections to remove. This one, and click OK. Now I'm going to hide Extrude 1 and Extrude 2. Activate the Lofted Surface tool. Let's select this edge and this line. Let's move the connector. And here's our surface for the front side of the blade. Now let's work on the back side of the blade. I could also use the Lofted Surface tool for this, but for demonstration purposes, let's try it with a boundary patch. I've just opened up a 3D sketch. Line tool. Let's place it right about here. Select. Second line. Right here. Right-click and select. Let's exit the sketch. Go to the Surfaces tab and activate the Boundary Surface tool. For Direction 1, we'll select this edge and this curve. Accept the selection. Let's uncheck Mesh Preview. For Direction 2, I'm going to use this line. OK. And this line. OK. And OK to exit the tool. Next, we need to create a surface for the end of the blade. Let's begin with a sketch. Take a normal 2 view. I'm going to use a 3-point arc. Right-click and select, and let's apply dimensions. (205 millimeters). OK. Second dimension. We'll make it 20 millimeters. And accept. Now we'll dimension the radius of the arc. 45 millimeters. Actually, let's make it a bit smaller, 40 millimeters, let's say. OK. And lastly here, we need a center line. Right-click and select. Let's exit the sketch. Take an isometric view. Activate the Revolved Surface tool. Revolve type, we'll use a mid-plane. And click OK. Now let's activate the Trim Surface tool. We'll use the Mutual Trim method. And let's select all 3 surfaces. Selections to remove. And OK. Now let's hide Plane 1 and Sketch 2 as well. We'll apply the Planar Surface tool now. Select these edges and click OK. Let's apply the Planar Surface tool to the bottom as well. Click OK. Isometric view. Let's knit these surfaces together. We'll do a right to left drag select. Click OK. Now let's bring our hub back into the workspace before applying the Thicken tool. Otherwise, we're going to end up with 2 separate bodies. Let's go to Insert, Boss, Thicken. I'll select the blade. The checkbox for Create Solid from Enclosed Volume appears. This means we've got closed cavities. Merge Results is checked. Let's click OK. And we have a single body. Now let's create some fillets. We'll apply them to this edge here, and this one here. 10mm radius is just fine. Let's click OK. Lastly here, let's create an axis. We'll use the front and right planes. And click OK. Here is our axis. Let's apply a circular pattern around this axis now. The axis is already pre-selected. Let's activate the Bodies to Pattern selection window. And number of instances, 6. Spread it across 360 degrees and click OK. Let's zoom to fit. All right, everything looks good. We've got 6 separate bodies. Let's combine them together with a Shift select, right-click, and select Combine. The operation type will be Add. Let's click OK. And here are our fan hub and blades, appearing together as a single body. This concludes this exercise.